In the next 8 minutes, you are going to understand something about your own brain that most people never figure out. This is Cognitive Thread, and today's topic is why your brain lies to you every single day. In 1974, a woman walked into a research lab convinced she had been abducted by aliens as a child. Under hypnosis, she recovered vivid memories. Alien beings, a spacecraft, everything crystal clear. But here's what nobody expected. The researchers knew for a fact these memories never happened. So what made her brain create an entire false reality so convincingly that even she believed it was real? This woman's story isn't unique. And understanding what happened to her brain explains why you can't trust your own mind, even right now, in this moment. Let's start with the actual science. In the 1970s, psychologist Elizabeth Loftus began running experiments that would shake the entire field of psychology. She was curious about something simple but terrifying. Can memories be invented? Her first major study was straightforward. She took college students and showed them footage of a car accident. Then she asked them questions about what they saw. But here's the trick. Some of the questions contained false information. For example, she'd ask, how fast was the car going when it passed the barn? Except there was no barn in the footage. When she asked students later what they remembered, something shocking happened. About 1 in 4 students now remembered a barn that was never there. Their brains didn't just forget. Their brains filled in the gap with something that felt real. But Loftus wanted to go deeper. Much deeper. In her most famous experiment, the Lost in the Mall study, she did something controversial. She told participants a completely false story about their childhood. She said they had gotten lost in a shopping mall when they were 5 years old. A family member had found them crying. None of this happened. It was pure fiction. She had people spend time thinking about this fake event. She asked them to visualize it, to imagine what it felt like. And what happened next is the part that terrified everyone in the psychology community. About 25% of the participants began to remember the fake event as if it were real. They didn't just play along. Brain scans showed their neural activity looked identical to people remembering actual events. Their brains had literally created a false memory that felt completely authentic. This is the core lie your brain tells you every single day. It tells you that if you remember something, it must be true. But memory doesn't work that way. Memory is not a video camera. It's not a photograph. Memory is a story your brain reconstructs every single time you think about something from the past. And every time you reconstruct it, you can change it. Here's where this gets personal. Right now, you have memories you're completely certain about. You remember exactly what happened. You can see it, you can feel it, you might be 100% confident in those memories, and your brain is lying to you about at least some of them. Dr. Daniel Schachter from Harvard has spent decades studying memory errors. He identified what he calls the 7 sins of memory. 3 of them are about forgetting, but 4 are about distortion. Your brain doesn't just lose information, it actively warps it, fills it in, and rewrites it. One of the most powerful distortions is called source confusion. You remember an event, but you forget where you learned about it. You saw it on the news, or a friend told you about it, or you read it online, but your brain filed it under things that happened to me. So now you're certain you experienced something you only heard about. Another distortion is called hindsight bias. After something happens, your brain rewrites your memories of what you believed before. If you predicted something correctly, you remember thinking you knew it all along. If you got it wrong, you misremember your earlier belief to match what actually happened. Your brain is constantly editing your history to make you look smarter. But here's what most people don't understand. Your brain is doing this on purpose. It's not a bug, it's a feature. We are almost there, and the explanation is about to change why you trust your own mind. Your brain prioritizes usefulness over accuracy. In nature, survival depends on fast decisions, not perfect memories. If you're walking through the forest and you hear a sound, your brain needs to decide, is this dangerous? Your brain doesn't need the exact details of every predator encounter. It needs the pattern. It needs the feeling. It needs to know, stick to open areas or avoid this valley. So your brain developed a system to extract meaning from experience, not to document it. Memory is about patterns and lessons, not facts and dates. But we don't live in forests anymore. We live in societies where facts matter, where what actually happened matters, where details matter. And your brain is still using the same old system, the one that was designed for survival, not for truth. The reason your brain lies to you every single day is because what your brain cares about isn't whether you remember what actually happened, it's whether remembering it helps you survive. That woman who remembered alien abduction? Her brain wasn't trying to fool her. Her brain was creating a narrative that made sense of trauma or confusion she was actually experiencing. The false memory was her brain's solution to a real problem. But here's the unsettling part. How many of your current certainties are actually reconstructed stories? How many memories that feel absolutely real are, in fact, edited versions of real events? How many did your brain invent entirely? You can't know, that's the point. This is why eyewitness testimony is now considered one of the least reliable forms of evidence in criminal trials. It's why you can argue with family members about what really happened and both be completely sincere. It's why you can feel betrayed by someone for doing something they swear they never did, and they might be telling the truth as they remember it. But you're not helpless here. Knowing how your brain works changes what you can do about it. When you're certain about something from your past, you can pause and ask, do I actually remember this directly? Or am I remembering something someone told me? Am I remembering the story I told about this event, not the event itself? Have I thought about this memory so many times that I'm now remembering my last memory of it, not the original experience? These questions don't give you perfect memories, but they make you skeptical enough to doubt your own certainty. And doubt, when it comes to your own mind, is actually a feature. You can't trust your memory, but you can understand how it works. And understanding how it lies is the first step to catching yourself in the act. So your brain isn't broken. It's just built for a world that doesn't exist anymore. The same system that protected your ancestors by remembering threats instead of facts is now creating false certainties that feel more real than reality itself. But here's what's even more disturbing. This exact same mechanism explains why you're convinced you know people better than you actually do, and why trust can be destroyed by a single rewritten memory. That's coming soon. If you want to understand how your mind really works, subscribe.